Poompuhar, the submerged, sacred city of the Tamil coast. The sea does not erase history, it archives it in silence. Along the southeastern coast of India, where the Kaveri River once met the Bay of Bengal, lies the drowned remains of one of South Asia's most important ancient port cities, Poompuhar, also known historically as Kaveri Pattanam. Once a thriving political, cultural, and religious center of the early Tamil world, this city flourished between the 2nd century BCE and the 5th century CE, before being gradually consumed by the sea. What survives today is not a ruin on land, but a submerged cultural landscape beneath shifting marine sediments and coastal waters. Poompuhar was not merely a city, it was a civilizational gateway. Ancient Tamil literature describes it as a capital of the Chola dynasty, a maritime hub that connected South India with Southeast Asia, the Roman world, and the wider Indian Ocean trade network. Archaeological evidence confirms this role. Roman coins, Mediterranean ceramics, amphora fragments, and Indo-Roman trade materials discovered along the coast reveal a port city integrated into global commerce long before the medieval period. The submerged temple structures of Poompuhar represent sacred geography, not isolated ruins. Marine archaeological surveys conducted by the National Institute of Oceanography and the Archaeological Survey of India have identified stone structures, walls, platforms, and architectural remains beneath the sea, interpreted as parts of religious complexes, including temple foundations. These were not random constructions, but components of a carefully planned sacred and urban layout, aligned with early Tamil cosmology and ritual space. In Tamil civilization, temples were not buildings, they were cosmic anchors. Sacred architecture was designed to reflect cosmological order, aligning geography, ritual, and political authority. A temple complex at Poompuhar would not have served only religious purposes, but also functioned as a center of governance, education, economic redistribution, and cultural identity. Its submergence represents not just architectural loss, but the disappearance of a spiritual and social system. Geological forces, not sudden catastrophe, reshaped the fate of Poompuhar. Unlike mythic flood narratives of instant destruction, archaeological and geological evidence suggests gradual coastal erosion, sea level rise, tectonic instability, and repeated storm surges. Over centuries, the shoreline retreated, infrastructure weakened, and sacred spaces were slowly overtaken by the sea. The city did not vanish in a single event. It dissolved into the ocean through time. Marine archaeology reveals that submerged heritage is often better preserved than land ruins. Low oxygen environments, sediment coverage, and reduced human interference allow underwater structures to remain structurally intact for millennia. Stone platforms, carved blocks, and structural alignments beneath the Bay of Bengal suggest that large sections of Poompuhar remain archaeologically recoverable. Poompuhar challenges the land-based bias of traditional archaeology. For centuries, archaeological interpretation focused almost exclusively on terrestrial sites, ignoring drowned landscapes. Yet post-glacial sea level rise has submerged vast portions of early human settlements worldwide. Poompuhar stands as one of India's clearest examples of how entire cultural systems now exist underwater, outside conventional excavation frameworks. Tamil literature preserves memory where stone has disappeared. Classical Sangam texts describe Poompuhar's markets, temples, ports, festivals, and riverfronts with striking spatial detail. From an archaeological perspective, such texts function as cultural cartography, narrative maps of a city now physically lost but intellectually preserved. Literature becomes an extension of archaeology when physical evidence is submerged. The submerged temple structures are not isolated monuments, but components of ritual networks. Ancient Tamil sacred geography linked rivers, ports, temples, and political centers into integrated systems. A temple at Poompuhar would have been part of a larger religious corridor, stretching inland along the Kaveri Basin, connecting coastal ritual space with agricultural heartlands and dynastic capitals. Trade and spirituality coexisted in the urban fabric of Poompuhar. Unlike modern separations between commerce and religion, ancient port cities integrated markets, temples, and administration into shared spatial zones. Sacred structures were embedded in economic life, serving travelers, merchants, and pilgrims alike. The submerged temples of Poompuhar thus represent both religious and commercial heritage. The loss of Poompuhar is not just a Tamil story, it is a global pattern. From Doggerland in the North Sea to Dwarka in Gujarat, from Pavlo Petri in Greece to Yonaguni in Japan, submerged cities appear across continents. Poompuhar belongs to this global underwater archive of human civilization, erased by environmental transformation. Archaeology now recognizes climate as a primary historical force. Civilizations rise and fall, not only through war and politics, but through environmental instability. Sea level rise, river migration, coastal erosion, and tectonic shifts shape history as powerfully as empires do. Poompuhar becomes a case study in climate archaeology. Submerged heritage forces humanity to rethink preservation itself. Conservation is no longer limited to land. The ocean has become the largest museum on Earth, containing unexcavated archives of human history. Poompuhar's ruins represent a challenge: how to protect cultural heritage that cannot be relocated, displayed, or fully excavated. The drowned temples of Poompuhar redefine what a sacred ruin means. They are not visible monuments, but invisible sanctuaries, existing beneath waves, sediment, and memory. Their silence is not absence, it is concealment. Poompuhar stands as a reminder that civilization is geographically fragile. Cities are not permanent structures in time. They are temporary negotiations between humans and nature. When that balance shifts, even capitals vanish. The submerged temple is not just a relic, it is a message. It tells a story of impermanence, adaptation, and transformation written not in texts, but in stone beneath the sea. Archaeology does not seek to romanticize loss. It seeks to understand it. Poompuhar is not tragedy alone. It is data, evidence, structure, and pattern. It is history recorded in sediment and seabed geometry. What lies beneath the waters of Kaveri Pattanam is not myth. It is material culture. Foundations, alignments, platforms, and construction logic testify to human planning and intention. The submerged temples are not dead spaces. They are cultural continuities. Their memory lives in ritual traditions, pilgrimage routes, regional identity, and Tamil historical consciousness.
Look at the detail here. It's the Kurma avatar.
Poompuhar teaches that
right
sacred geography can survive even when sacred architecture does not. Ritual memory outlives stone. In archaeology, silence is never empty. It is layered with meaning. The sea that covers Poompuhar does not erase its existence. It preserves its questions. The drowned city becomes a dialogue between science and memory, between geology and literature, between sediment and story. Poompuhar is not lost, it is relocated. From land to sea, from visibility to invisibility, from architecture to archaeology. And in that transition, it becomes more than a city. It becomes a symbol of how civilizations are shaped by water, time, and change. The temple beneath the sea is not a ruin of faith. It is an archive of humanity, preserving not belief alone, but structure, order, and meaning. Poompuhar stands as proof that history does not always collapse. It sometimes submerges. And what submerges is not gone. It waits. In the end, the ocean does not bury civilizations. It keeps them silent, intact, patient, waiting to be understood.